Good morning, confidence community. It's Amy Colombo, emotional mastery coach, nurse, and single mother to 3 boys. How are you all doing? If you're here, you want to know about what I've got planned this weekend with this inner child healing immersion. If you've been thinking about it, this is the place to be because we're going to get those questions answered. We're going to get you to a place of clarity. So this is Inner Child Healing, a liberating journey to self-love and empowerment. And I specifically gave it that title with a lot of thought and care because that is exactly what this is. The wounded inner child, which is one part of this child, is responsible for all the suffering in the world. Basically, if I could just sum it up that way. And if everyone would decide that they were worthy to heal their inner child, their children wouldn't be taking on generational patterns of shame and unworthiness. Our children would be better off. The world would be a more peaceful, joyful, safer place to live. A lot of the hate and violence in the world is coming from wounded inner children, hurt people consciously and probably 95% unconsciously. So that's why this work is so important and anyone can do it. Whether you have trauma or you don't have trauma, you will benefit. So first of all, let's just talk about what the inner child is. It is a part of you, and she or he is directly attached to your emotional pain body. Your emotions that live in your body are in your subconscious, and that is where this child is. And there are 2 parts to this child, and one is the wounded part, and that is the part that when you were a child, anytime you felt alone, anytime you were left alone to process your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions after something big happens, and just to say something big happens, which means it could have been traumatic in a definition that we know trauma to be: physical, sexual, emotional, psychological. But there's also what we call little t trauma, which is like bullying or something that's chronically happening over time. Trauma is not just what happened to you, it's also what didn't happen to you, what you didn't get. The needs of being emotionally safe and secure. Were you given autonomy to make choices and explore your environment? Play is a need for children. Children have 2 jobs coming into the world: to play and learn. So these are all needs. If your needs weren't met as a child chronically over time, you had to develop survival strategies, which served you as a child, right? It served you to please and make them happy, to avoid pain and punishment. It served you to please and meet their needs so your needs would be met. It served you to actually realize nobody's ever going to help me, only I can help me, and become hyper independent. That served you because nobody else was looking out for you as a child. So you needed to figure that out. However, what that translates into adulthood is all the issues you're having in relationships. We can't attach safely in a relationship if we didn't attach safely to a caregiver in childhood. Not being able to set boundaries, not being able to speak your needs. Every time you have a need, you feel shame and doubt and like no one's going to help me. All of the issues that you're experiencing in the here and now can be linked back to the inner child. And forming a relationship with this child inside is going to completely change your life. And the process that I'm going to bring you through in this weekend, you don't get to know it. You don't get to know the how, right? Because part of dropping into this playful, creative child part of you is not knowing every single thing. So many of us walked away from childhood with these rigid patterns, right? Perfectionism and high functioning codependency and hyper independence. And we need to know everything that's going to happen. And I just want to let you know, trust me, I've got you. I've got an amazing experience planned, and this is going to be experiential. I formulated it so that you're going to learn and drop into a deeper sense of understanding and awareness for where you're at in the here and now, and the why. Why am I like this? So we're going to get into that. We're going to give you that clarity and that education. And then we are going to connect you to this child part of you, starting with light connection to a little deeper, and then to very deep. And then we're going to get to those parts of you that are holding on to pain. And we're going to release them and let them go. And then we're going to bring you to the authentic inner child, the magical inner child, she's called, but the authentic inner child, the real you. A lot of pieces and parts of your personality that you identify with greatly, that you believe are you, are really not you. They're not the authentic you. They are the wounded survival strategies. They are the way you coped, the way you survived in your home. The truth is, what we were born into in our homes, we did not get to choose. We were born into it. And we as humans adapted and survived it. Okay. And we don't just let our past go when we become adults. Our past is literally in here, it's in us through this inner child. And if you're stuck moving forward on a journey of like, why can't I speak up for myself? Why can't I make that post? Why can't I connect and make an offer? I just was talking to, right? I'm just talking to this woman. She's sharing a problem with me. There's so many entrepreneurs and aspiring nurse coaches in here. It's like, yeah, I'm having a conversation and someone was telling me their problems, and it's exactly what I do and it's exactly what I help. And I didn't make an offer, right? Why didn't I? Because there are things in your subconscious attached to this inner child, and she's afraid, right? She's afraid of whatever speaking up was in her past. She's still carrying that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, right? If making decisions as a child meant right or wrong, black and white, good girl, bad girl, you had a 50-50 shot at either being good or bad or right or wrong. And you're still carrying that experience with you. So it makes sense, actually, why you're clamming up, not consciously, but subconsciously. And awareness is the first step in making connection to this part of you and actually getting to rewrite the story. So there are so many amazing experiences and ways of connecting with this part of you, rewriting the story. My favorite coach in the whole world, Christine Hassler, has this quote, and it's never too late to have an amazing childhood. It's never too late to have an amazing childhood. And that makes perfect sense to me. You might be thinking, what? And no, we can't go back and redo childhood. Childhood was childhood. It's done, it's gone, it's over. It's in the past, right? But when we heal this inner child, we can actually rewrite the story, because what she's holding on to from her past are the beliefs about herself, about the world, and about people. What you believe about men, what you believe about women, the safety you perceive in the world, the belonging you perceive when you walk into a room, the status of people being here and there, all of that comes from childhood, comes from your rooted home that you were born into. And now, in order to create a new story, to create new beliefs, to create safety and belonging in the world, to believe that you're worthy to show up and make an offer, to know that you can handle a rejection and not take it personally, to do that, that is work. That is intentional work. And that means going back to the root and healing at the root. And just something kind of magical happens, right? When we go back and we do this work, it almost kind of like turbocharges or turbo speeds the rewiring process in the brain. There's so many ways that we can rewrite the story, and that's what I'm going to bring you through this weekend. It is a process of rewriting the story, and the way you're going to land on Sunday is going to be changed. There's no way. If you say yes and you just show up for the weekend, that's all you need to do. You just come. And if there's one little portion of it that you miss, you're going to get the recording. But this is experiential. I want you to show up for this because you're going to get so much out of it. And just allow me to hold you and bring you through this process that your inner child is ready for. Okay. If you've been feeling a little something since you've been seeing this, if you've been feeling a little sensation in your body, I know for me, when I did this years ago, I had this like feeling in my throat all week. And literally, we are one day before we go live tomorrow night. I literally signed on like 3 days before it went live. The reason why I'm doing this and the reason why I created this is because back in 2019, I had a healing journey of childhood trauma, and it started in a therapy container. That was in 2019. And I had gone really far. I'd even graduated from therapy for the first time in like my whole life. I'd been in and out of therapy my whole life. I graduated. That was amazing. And then in 2021, I saw this Healing the Inner Child weekend immersion, and it was just like speaking to me. I was so right. So if you're feeling curious, if you're like, I want to go deeper, if you're doing this work a little bit, if you've never done this work, but you're feeling called, you're like feeling a resonance, listen to that, right? How many of us were literally taught and trained and gaslighted and taught to not listen to the wisdom that lives in our bodies, that God is speaking through us intuitively through our bodies, right? Your body holds your entire life experience. It holds generations of experience in your DNA. There is wisdom beyond your years inside your body. And how many of us were trained to not listen to it? So I'm telling you to start listening intuitively. You know if this is for you. And that's what I did. And I entered the container, and I thought I had done tons of work on which I had done lots of work on my childhood trauma for like 2 years straight and really got to an amazing place. But this catapulted me forward. And what I really walked away with was something that I really needed was, oh my gosh, I have compassion in me. I never knew that I had compassion at my core. And that's what I discovered. And that was a life-changing discovery for me. I hadn't realized that I was so wounded by what was happening around me as a kid that I literally brainwashed myself to not care when someone was being hurt or harmed or suffering around me, because that's what I lived with. And I didn't realize that that was a coping mechanism and a survival strategy. And when I did the inner child healing, the compassion poured out of me like never before. And I was like dumbfounded. I was changed forever. I immediately saw how I was doing things with my kids that were done to me. And I thought I was better then, but I realized, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same thing. Like I'm not seeing and hearing them. It's changed my parenting, my relationships, everything. And that's why I'm doing this, because I am so ready to hold this type of a powerful, immersive space. We're going to be in the container together for the weekend in community. You're going to let me hold you. You're not going to know what's coming. You're not going to have it like an agenda. You're just going to know the dates, the times, when to show up, and just to be ready. And the nice thing is that your system, I always encourage you to ride your edge, because resistance is always protective, right? So resistance is naturally going to come up in this process. And one thing that I will speak to myself as a coach is that I honestly feel like I am a master at navigating resistance. And there is a space for healing. The most important piece of healing, of transformation in a one-to-one coaching container, in a group coaching container, is safety and trust. Safety and trust and non-judgment. When you have the combination of those three core values, like I do in my coaching container, that is when all of the things that we hide and we suppress and we keep in because we're ashamed of, that's when they can come up and out and be expressed. And that's all they need. That's all that they need to transform, to change, to move through, is just to be seen and heard. And every part of you, there's no part of you that is bad. Every part of you is working hard to protect you in some way and uncovering those benefits, those sneaky benefits, right? And expressing gratitude and love, and then deciding and commanding, right, energy to transform and move in a different way for your new story, to take on the new belief that I am inherently worthy, that I do have value just because I am human and I was born, that the fact that I was unloved or unwanted as a child has nothing to do with my value and my worth. I have a right to declare worthiness and value, that if I was born, I was meant to be here. I have purpose. And a lot of us need to really reclaim our value and worth for being here, because so many of us grew up believing, whether our parents loved us or not, whether they were there or not, we believed we were unloved, we were unwanted, we were abandoned, we were bad, right? Inherently bad. We walked away with those beliefs. And healing this inner child is the key to letting them go. Who is this for? This is for you if you have past wounds that still affect you. And even if you're ignoring or pretending or suppressing or trying to pretend like they don't, you know they do, because you still are behaving in a way that you don't like. And it just dumbfounds you. You're like, when is this going to end? Right? When am I going to stop getting, mad and triggered and like for days, that thing where you hold on to it for days and you can't let it go. You relive the same emotion, the same experience, different room, different day, whether it's at home, at work. It's just the same shit, different day. That is a wounded inner child. This is 100% for you. Okay. You struggle to manage your emotions, 100% for you. Your relationships feel difficult or unfulfilling. You are stepping into a new chapter. You're going to get triggered 1,000%. I'm 4 years entrepreneur. And if you're a nurse coach, an aspiring entrepreneur, whether we've got breathwork facilitators in here, we've got massage therapists, 100% certain your inner child will be triggered and will try to hold you back and not let you move forward. Okay. This is 100% for you. Okay. If you want more creativity and joy and playfulness in your life, how many of us don't even feel safe to play? Don't even feel safe to do something fun that has like no goal or no means to an end, right? Just because it brings us joy. If you want more of that, believe it or not, it's work, people. It's work to feel good. It's work to think better thoughts. It's work to have a better life. Okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You are who you are for very good reason. It's what happened to me. And let me meet that part of me that split off, that took on this negative belief, that is still holding on to it. Let me meet her and let me give her permission to let it go, because only you can do this. And if you feel stuck, okay, no matter what you do, you're just stuck and you can't move forward, same thing, different day, over and over, not doing the things that you say you want to do for yourself, and you just can't quite hold a promise to yourself or keep those loving boundaries to yourself, this is for you. Okay. Who is this not for? Okay. I want to speak to who this is not for, because this is important. Okay. If you are unwilling to explore past hurts, if you are unwilling to feel uncomfortable emotions in your body, right? Because what this child is storing is past hurts and pain and grief. And if you're unwilling to go there, this isn't for you. Maybe later you will feel willing. If you're dealing with severe, untreated, or unmanaged PTSD, mental health issues, this is not for you. This is not medical care. This is not therapy. This is a transformative personal development experience. And if your body says no, and you know what a no feels like, okay? Maybe you've been tuned out or have turned it off, but if your body, so to feel a little anxious, a little uncertain, a little scared about something like this, a little like, I don't know, normal. And what I would encourage you is to listen to that part of you that's like, let's do this. We're ready. but we're a little scared and ride that edge. However, if you're just like, hell no, I ain't doing that, right? That's a no. Your body's a no. What are the benefits? And these are just some. They're going to be different for all of you, but I cannot wait for the transformations after this. I'm already excited. I could already see them. I could already I just can see the afterwards on Sunday, and I could see the transformations already for the amazing people that are coming in. So, reduced anxiety and depression or resentment, improved personal and professional relationships, increased self-confidence, courage, commitment, and connection to yourself, to God, to people, and to the world. We're going to work through those layers, those heart walls that you formed that are keeping you safe, right? We need to let the system know that it's safe. It can let those go. And for a lot of you that are ultra triggered politically because of the political climate, because of the president, I promise you, there is a wounded inner child all the way back at the root of that. Okay. And we're not saying that what's happening in the present isn't, triggering in and of itself, isn't, anger producing or, whenever we get triggered over anything, it's not to say that the situation is great, right? It's not great, but it's not as catastrophic as we are making it. Whenever we're making something like a giant catastrophe, trust me, there's a wounded inner child at the heart of that. And I can't tell you how many women I've worked with and done trigger tracing from whatever's triggering them, whether it's road rage, political rage, being triggered by their husbands, their children. Always there's an inner child just waiting, saying like, help me. And we get right to her. Okay. Improved emotional regulation and ability to control impulses. This is huge. This is huge. So being able to regulate your emotions, but also being able to control yourself and not react in the moment is really big with this. A renewed sense of playfulness and creativity. We can all use that. Joy, right? And an increase in risk tolerance. You won't be so afraid to be like, if you're starting that business, right? A little less rejection fear. Like, I can handle a rejection. I can handle a no. It's okay if people say no. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep finding my people. Or I want to volunteer and do a presentation at my local women's group, but I'm afraid. You'll be able to take that risk. You'll be able to take more risks. Or, oh, there's a networking event here. I want to go, but I don't feel comfortable. It's like, no, let me go. Let me take the risk. Let me inject myself. The only way to move yourself forward is to show up, right? If we're lonely and all we're doing is sitting at home wallowing in our loneliness, we're not doing what we need to do to meet the need, right? We got to ask that part of us, like, what is the need? So healing this child will actually give you energy, the tools, and the know-how to start meeting your needs, even when you don't feel like it, right? Even when the part of you that is resisting or holding you back is coming in, you will leave with the tools to meet that part of you so that you can override it and actually do what you want to do rather than what that critic or what that resistance or that fear is telling you to do. This work takes the keys out of their hands. They don't get to make the decisions. Fears, insecurities, doubts are a normal part of a human existence, but we should not ever be making decisions from that place. We should always be making decisions from a healthy sense of our core values, our goals, and our vision forward. You will leave with an overall sense of well-being and safety in the world that you've never experienced before. This was huge for me. I didn't realize how that inner child just, oh my God, the beliefs that inner child took on. I was literally living my life for 42 years, like on the defense, like ready to, like someone was going to kill me at any moment. Like that is, and that's real. That's just how our psyches hold on to trauma until you learn how to let it go, right? We're going to walk around like this. I mean, I know someone, I don't know if it's you or someone that walks around that's like always on edge. This, right? That like hypervigilance, that's a wounded inner child. What if I can't attend live? That's one of the questions. That is a-okay. We've got you covered with recording access. However, I want you to come live. Like, I want you to clear your schedule. I want you to get a sitter for the kids. I want you to like go somewhere. I want you to clear the house. This is one of those things that you don't want to miss. You want to come live to. But like, if you're going to miss an hour one day, or like, let's say you missed the AM session on Saturday, or like the PM session on Sunday, like that is totally cool. And that is normal with something like this. Number two, what if I can't remember my childhood, right? This is a great question. What if I have no memories from childhood? That is okay. There's a very good reason why you have no memories. And there's a difference between riding our edge and pushing, trying to like push through. We're not going to push through. And you don't need any memories to do this workshop with the exercises. I don't drop you into like a past traumatic situation. We actually are just meeting this part of you, and she's there. This memory, this inner child is in your body, and you have access to her. I promise you, even if you have no freaking memories. And I'm thinking of one specifically that really stands out, but I've definitely worked with people that have no childhood memories. I had a great childhood. Like, my parents did great, or like my parents did their best. I wasn't abused. Like, do I need this? And I want to tell you that you don't have to have been abused to have been wounded. And there is a large percentage, I don't know the numbers statistically, of people that do experience trauma in childhood. But even if you had a great childhood, there could have been one time, right? That one instance. And I just want to speak to this because what we're doing in adulthood is we are looking back as the adult, and we're poo-pooing the child's experience. Like, because we're looking back on it, or we're in denial and we don't even realize it, which was my truth, right? I was protecting myself. This was in such a capsule of a shell. Like, I just never wanted to admit I was a victim or I was abused. Like, for some reason, that was important to me to know that I wasn't abused, but it was a lie. It was a lie, and a fearful one that was just trying to, like, what our psyches are doing are either trying to prove or disprove like this truth that's in our subconscious. It's kind of like hidden, but it wants to come up and out, but it doesn't feel safe. So if you had a great childhood, or you had that one time experience, right? Maybe you were bullied at school, maybe you were kicked out of the group, maybe you were an awkward child or kind of shy, and like, just, I think of one of my clients, she's just like very kind and gentle and like nice. And her parents had money, and like the other kids used to say things to her about having money. She took away all these beliefs. And guess what? Now she's like 55 years old, and she's very secretive about everything and doesn't like people to know how much money she has, and feels shameful. And she's in abundance, and she's not enjoying it because of this childhood that she experienced. She's also like a boss, right? Just think, if I was shy and I was bullied and I was the awkward kid and I was too kind, well, now I'm really rigid and I'm really firm, but that's not the real you. Again, that's an adaptation. So coming home to the real you. So if you had a childhood, wasn't abused, this is still for you. You can still benefit greatly from creating a relationship with this vulnerable part of you. I had a lot of childhood trauma. Okay. So if you had a lot of childhood trauma, am I ready for this? So inner child work is amazing for people that have childhood trauma. And if you've been working with a therapist, this can be an amazing complement to that. If you've been working with a coach, this can be an amazing complement to that. If you just graduated from a therapy or a coaching container and was working on this can be that next level or that next step for you. And I really want to encourage you, if you're feeling resonance with this, to come in, because that's what it is. We are a work in progress till the day we die. So there are always deeper layers. So if you've done the work, you're going to come in, you're going to get another transformation. You're going to get another layer of healing. You're going to get more breakthroughs. And I want that for you. I'm currently working on my childhood trauma with a therapist or practitioner. Could this benefit with me? Absolutely, yes, it could. And you might want to have a conversation with your therapist or practitioner about it and see what they think about it. But I really want to encourage you to start intuitively going within. Like I said, this can be an amazing complement to work with what you're doing. It also can be an amazing next step on your journey, as well as, right? I've never worked on childhood trauma, but I'm feeling a resonance with that. And what I want to say is, I want you to make that decision for you. You know when you're ready. Listen to that inner guidance. And like I said, you should feel a little nervous, a little scared, a little uncertain. That is normal. But if you're feeling a resonance with it, I want to encourage you to go with it. If you're feeling that hell no in your body, like we talked about before, then this is not for you. If you're unwilling to go back, right? If you're like, I just want to push forward and push through and forget about the past and I'm not going back there, then this is not for you at this time. And maybe it'll be for you in the future. And that is it for my questions. So I hope that that helped you. I hope that this helps some of you come to a place of clarity and confidence in moving forward and saying yes. This is the first of its kind, so it's always special. And I really want you to come in if you've felt a resonance, or even if you've gotten on a call with me and maybe like a one-to-one container with me wasn't the thing, but I know so many of you that come to me are needing inner child work, and we're going to do a full weekend immersion of inner child work. And I want you to say yes to that inner child and the future version of you that's going to walk out on Sunday, the different woman than she came in on Friday. She wants you to say yes. And she's been talking to me for all of you. She's like, please, please get them to come in and do this thing, right? You have gifts, you have talents, you have purpose, you have amazing potential and capability. And for you to tap in and decide that you're worthy to live a purpose-filled, creative, joyful, amazing life, I want you to heal this wounded child so that she can stop making the decisions for you and stop running the program that she's running over and over and over. We want to really update her because she no longer is back there. She's not unsafe anymore. She's not in trouble. She's not, and that's what she needs. She hasn't gotten the message that she's safe, she's loved, she's free, and she has unconditional love and support all around her from the unseen force, but from you, right? And from those in your world. We need to update her. And I'm going to help you do that in the deepest, most profound way possible. So please say yes to your inner child. Click the link, save your spot. You've got $100 off, plus a bonus integration call afterwards, plus a bonus one-to-one call. So we're gonna have a bonus group call. I'm gonna announce it maybe a week after to help you all integrate back into life. And then you get a bonus one-to-one session with me, which is really, really valuable. And we can book that, anytime within the month after to help you integrate your inner child into your personal situation, which is valued at $500 in and of itself. And this workshop is $595, and we've got the $100 off right now. So you can come in for $495. And, your future self is going to look back on this and be so grateful that you invested the time, the energy, and the money. It's going to be worth it. So I want you to come in. Let me know if you have any other questions, drop them in here. I'll be checking. You can still come in. We go live tomorrow night, but once these 4 spots are sold, that's it. The doors are closed. So go ahead and book your spot right now so you can get one of these 4 remaining spots in this inner child healing workshop, because they're going to go 100%. I already know. I'm totally tuned in, and I know that these 4 spots are going to be sold. So if this is speaking to you, go ahead and book it right now. Bye.